The trip that originally was planned to Africa was to go from Cape Town to Cairo and to be on the motorcycle the entire time. That changed when we couldn't get through Ethiopia. Ethiopia literally shut down the borders. With that in mind, we went on to Egypt and traveled Egypt in a different way. And the different way really had to do with tourists, the traditional tourist way of seeing Egypt. It's not my favorite way to travel and to tour and to experience a country. So Egypt's one of the oldest countries in the world, and there's 100 million people in this country. So fairly small geography in the northeast corner of Africa. And what I thought was really interesting is the Egyptians don't want to be considered part of Africa. They want to be considered part of the Arab world. And actually, they're the largest population of Arabs any place in the world. One of the initial experiences we had was to go to the Egyptian Museum. I was really looking forward to being part, to spending a major part of the day at the Egyptian Museum. It was not what I expected it to be. There was lots of artifacts, lots of history. It is very crowded. One of the things, of course, we did was go to Giza and see the pyramids of Giza. This is history. This is what we've experienced over, our ancient history. The Nile River is the lifeblood of Egypt, and it became so incredibly apparent once we got onto these river boats and toured on the river boats, stayed on the boats for 3 days, and what an experience it was to float the Nile. I think Egypt is a place where if you have any curiosity about ancient history, we should go experience it. But there's also an experience of a way of life that Egyptians are faced with and what they're experiencing now. And I think it's important for us to recognize that even though it was crowded, even though that I think it was fairly unorganized, I still got a lot out of it. But you cannot digest everything that's available to you in Egypt in just 10 or 11 or 12 days. It is too much and too big, but you can get a great overview. And you can have a great experience in Egypt.